My name is Alexander Govea. I'm a voter outreach specialist from the Harris County Clerk's Office Elections Outreach Department. Thank you, Teresa, for having me over, joining you today. I just want to give you a brief little voter workshop, kind of just some information on what to expect, how to be prepared, and what to look for whenever you're at the vote center in case you need any accommodations or if you're looking to vote by mail. There's our agenda for today. No need to write that down. I'm going to go ahead and cover everything. So up on the screen, I have a little bit more of a breakdown about the Harris County Clerk's Office. We often, with Harris County being as big as it is, millions of people that live in the Harris County area, this kind of gives a better overview of what specifically the county clerk is in charge of. So she's in charge of the marriage licenses, financial statements, other birth certificates, other records, public records, maintaining minutes in commissioner's court, documents from property or civil courts, probate, real estate, and archives. And then over here in the little corner is going to be the elections. So it's only going to be the elections portion. Back in 2023, Senate Bill 1750 separated the election administrator, or disbanded the election administrator in Harris County. So elections is back under the county clerk's office, and voter registration is under the tax assessor's office now. Just to make that distinction. For the ballot, so everything, I actually brought a couple sample ballots, so I'll leave that with you, Teresa, so you can give those out if you wish. But we have over 17 Texas constitutional amendments, ranging from anything on taxes to property, and then allocation of funds. We also have select local races, so everything from school board, utility districts. It really just depends on what area you live in. All the sample ballots are readily available right now on harrisvotes.com if you're curious what your specific ballot is going to be. We also have a couple special elections, one of them being for District 18 or Congressional District 18. So unfortunately, whenever Sylvester Turner passed away in March of this year, it did leave a vacancy in the 18th Congressional District. So with that special election, special because it has to be filled, that election can only be called for by the governor. So the governor called for that election in November, which is why we're going to have that election in this November. Another special election I do want to point out is going to be the City of Houston at-large 4 position. There is going to be a vacancy there, so if you do live in the City of Houston area, in that area specifically, you will be seeing that as well on your ballot. Up on the screen, I do have some important dates, and I also have this on the nice little handout I'm going to leave with Teresa. But the last day to register to vote for this November election was October 6th, so Monday of this week. The first day of early voting is going to be October 20th, so that's going to be in a week and a half, so coming up very soon. But early voting is going to be 11 days, so from October 20th all the way to October 31st. So we also have opportunities to vote on Saturday and Sunday with some reduced hours for Sunday, but you do have 11 different opportunities to go anywhere in Harris County to vote. If you are interested or eligible for voting by mail, the last day to apply to mail ballot is going to be October 24th. So that is fast approaching in case you're interested. And I'll talk a little bit more about what the application requirement looks like. Oh, and then election day, my Super Bowl Sunday, if you will, November 4th. And it's also the last day to return your mail ballot. And by return, we mean just having it postmarked. So it's postmarked and received by that date, and then they're going to be sending all that over to us. So in Harris County, there's 3 different ways to vote. You can vote in person at a vote center. You can vote via curbside. We do have some changes to curbside with some recent special session legislation, and I'll talk about that very shortly. And we do have voting by mail. So we have domestic, which is anyone in Harris County if they meet those requirements. And for any of our service members or astronauts who plan on not being in the county, we have something called the FPCA, Federal Postcard Application. So that's how those service members can have their voice heard. Acceptable forms of photo ID. So we have 7 list A IDs per the Texas election code. We have the Texas driver's license, Texas ID, Texas handgun license, U.S. citizenship certificate with a photo, U.S. military ID with a photo, any branch, Texas election ID certificate, or a U.S. passport booker card. So all these, they can also be anywhere up to 4 years expired. So if you're between the ages of 18 years old and 69 years old, it can be up to 4 years expired. If you're 70 or older, there is no expiration date. So you could still use any of these if you're 70 or older, any expiration date. In the event that you do not have any of those photo IDs, don't worry, you still have the opportunity to cast a normal ballot. So if you do not have any of them, you can go ahead and bring any of these List B identifications, such as a copy or original of a government check, paycheck, voter registration certificate, which is what you get prior to every election, or after you register to vote, a copy or original of your utility bill, a birth certificate, or even a bank statement. So if you have any of those forms of photo ID and you're a registered voter and you do not have the means to get a photo ID, whenever you go into the vote center, you can get with the vote center judge and fill out something called a reasonable impediment declaration, which is you saying, because of my either lack of transportation, work schedule, or whatever the case is, they have several listed reasons why you're not able to get that photo ID, but you do have that supporting document. So you can still vote a standard ballot. This is really important because a lot of people are intimidated by the process if they don't have a photo ID, so don't be afraid. We train all of our election workers in this procedure as well. I am going to talk about accessibility features in voting by mail a little bit more. Voting in person. So per the Texas Election Code law, every single vote center has to be accessible to all voters. So we do have curbside voting where voters can go up to the curbside buzzer, press the buzzer like you're in a drive-through, and they're going to bring out the voting equipment and get you checked in from your vehicle. We do have voting order priority for voters who have limited mobility, which states that the voter can go ahead and go to the front of the line, so they do not have to wait. So if you're worried about not being able to go vote because you can't wait in the lines because of a disability, you can go to the very front of the line. We also have something called an ATI audio tactile interface. It has Braille and it also reads the ballot to you. So if you have a visual impairment, it's going to read you the ballot. Or if you have any other accessibility devices like a sip and puff device or jelly switches, you can also connect it to this device. We also have virtual interpretation on demand. So if you do not speak one of the four most common languages in Harris County, English, Spanish, Vietnamese, or Chinese, or if you speak ASL because you're not able to communicate in those other languages, or Arabic, or any of the other ones, then we have a virtual interpreter available on demand that can help communicate with you and the election worker at the vote center. So for a update on curbside voting, so as required by the new state legislation, the rules governing curbside have changed. So anytime that a voter is going to request curbside voting in any of the vote centers, and they have to sign an affidavit stating that they are unable to enter the vote center without experiencing harm. Now the driver of the vehicle can also vote curbside as well. And now we're gonna have 2 election workers at the car to assist curbside voters. So to summarize that, anytime you're requesting curbside, you just have to sign an affidavit saying you need it. Now, if you have your grandson, family member, or somebody driving you, they can also vote curbside as well. And now instead of 1 election worker going to process you, it'll be 2. Speaking of voting in person and accommodations, anybody who needs language assistance, just notify an election worker, we'll get that ready for you. A voter can also choose their own assistant. So if they wish to bring somebody in to assist them, they have that choice. Otherwise, they can ask an election worker and the election workers will assist them with preparing their ballot. The only criteria for a voter assistant is that they cannot be a voter's employer, agent of their employer, officer agent of their union. As long as they're none of those 3 entities, it could be anybody. It could be somebody who's not even registered to vote. So let's say your granddaughter, your daughter, your son, maybe your neighbor. You can bring anybody in there as long as they're not those three entities. And they do just have to sign an oath saying, they're there to assist you. Voting by mail. So just getting into what qualifies you to vote by mail. You have to be 65 years of age or older on election day, sick or disabled, expected to give birth 3 weeks before or after election day. You'll be out of the county on election day and during early voting period, or if you are confined in jail or have an involuntary civil commitment and are otherwise eligible to vote. Don't worry about meeting all of them, not necessary. As long as you meet one of those requirements, you are eligible or you can qualify to vote by mail. Just a couple of tips on your application whenever you are registering to vote by mail. Make sure that whenever you're filling out your application first, blue or black ink, please do not do red ink. It's going to fade and cause some issues with getting it processed. Make sure you fill out every single section that's asked of you, otherwise it will delay the process. There is a section asking you for either your Texas driver's license or ID number or your social. Just to be safe, if you have both, do both. Because whenever you're submitting that application, it's going to ask you for whichever one that you selected. So instead of playing the guessing game, just give both if you're able to. Also, you do have the option to select an annual application, so you'll get a mail ballot for every election the year that you applied. Or you can go ahead and select the election for the ones that you know are coming up that you're not going to be in county for. And finally, we're in the home stretch, just making a plan to vote. All this information is going to be available on harrisvotes.com. Everything from your nearest polling location to your sample ballot, tracking your mail ballot, the election worker application, anything and everything you could think of is right there. And speaking of elections, next year, I know we got next year on our mind, and I know we have that parade coming up, so we're planning ahead. On that same note, for the next year, we already have 5 elections potentially scheduled. So if there is a runoff for the Congressional District 18, a runoff will only happen if somebody does not get 50% plus 1 of the vote. Then that runoff election will take place in January 2026. Also, in March, we have the primary, so we have a lot of congressional seats up for grabs. Even though it starts in March, the first day of early voting is going to be February 17th. So we're going to have very small windows coming back from the holidays to make sure that we're prepared for that election. So I do want to put that on your radar. For any runoff elections, so anything that's not a majority, that primary runoff is going to take place in May. And like I mentioned, it may take place in May, but guess what? Early voting's at the very end of April as well. So it's all going to be coming up one after another. And then later on that year, we have the November election, and any runoff elections will take place in December. So just in the next year, we already have 7 elections. So a lot of decisions, a lot of things going on. So I do admonish you, just check harrisvotes.com. It's going to give you everything that you're going to be voting on and important election dates. I do want to mention this opportunity. It is, right now they're in the final stretch of getting everything in place, but just so you know, just so you're aware, any registered voters in Harris County are able to become election workers. They could be clerks. So if you are interested in that information, I do have this flyer. I'm going to share it with Teresa so you all have it. We also have the application on our website, but you have the opportunity to work during the day, and we already fully staffed this, so I do apologize, but we also have a nighttime opportunity where you can support us in returning all the equipment. So after the polls close, once they're dropping everything off, this is just supporting us and making sure that everything is secure and making sure that we get everything sorted out inside our facility and tabulated. That one, just being a U.S. citizen, 18 years old, will pay you for training, and we do pay you $17 an hour. So great opportunity for the next election. And we have the same opportunity for high schoolers as well. We just ask that they're 16 years of age, U.S. citizen, complete a paid training, and do have a legal guardian's permission, because won't you know it, they forge their parents' signatures sometimes. So that is an opportunity for the students. Final 2 slides, everything having to do with elections is on harrisvotes.com, or you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Harris Votes. And this is gonna be the little QR code. I'll share that with Teresa. But just to get in contact with us, stay in contact with us, we have a lot of general community meetings in different languages with different groups that kind of expound on this information and a little bit more. And thank you. So thank you so much for sitting through the presentation. That is our forward-facing number, 713-755-6965. You can call that anytime, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 4:30, or during the election period. It's open the same time the polls are open. It's also open that same exact time. So if you have any questions, concerns, you need to find the nearest location to your vote center, or if you just have questions, just call us, or even complaints or compliments, let us know, so that way we can go ahead and document it, address it, and make sure that we are supporting the community. That is going to be our email, just in case you ever have any future requests, or you have my information now, so you could just call me. Our website, and then that's our current headquarters. But thank you so much.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
And would you show us a demonstration on how to vote?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you want to pause the video and then we can do another one, since